Hey guys, and welcome back to Superstar Saga. Man, it's a good job we got out of that pipe when we did, because I was basically holding my breath since the last part. It's been like 12 bloody hours. I didn't know I had that kind of stamina.
Hey, don't worry. There will be plenty more playthrough parts to go on the channel. You know, you don't have to hold your breath for nothing, just relax.
This is why I create a stockpile, in case I accidentally drown. It happens more times than I'd care to mention, but anyway. There's still a bit of, stuff to do before we get to where the beanstalk is located. So, as you might expect from, any kind of game, really, we have to scour the land and make our way to said MacGuffin. But first, a battle, if you will.
It haven't been a while since we've had one of these, but I gotta say, back there, I love the expressions that they make when you're doing the hand bros moves on the field. Like, Mario just looks like he's in full fucking panic, and Luigi just looks like he's about to die. I guess when you stick a fire up somebody's ass, fair enough, I'd probably make that face too.
Oh, nothing like a level up to start the part with. Stash is looking pretty abysmal right now, but put it into power. Oh, I could have had 5s, I got a 2 instead.
You know, I have to say, after a while, I don't really put a ton of points into Stash. At first, when I first played the game, I tried to kind of balance a little everybody out. I kept Mario more of the power character and Luigi more of, defense. But then as I played it multiple times, I just kind of slammed on the power, a little bit of BP every now and then, because you can get away with low HP and low defense if you can dodge everything. And this way, with my strategy, you'd be able to kill the enemies a lot faster, which could make better grinding, easier way to clear bosses and things like that.
Alright, let's try out our moves in battle. Hand styly.
An amazing 4 damage, and another amazing 4 damage. Greatly done, wow.
What do you know it, it's 4 again. Oh, and with a shocker, it's 4.
Now I'm starting to remember why I didn't really use those moves that often. Now, some of them do have benefits besides damage, but when I'm going for pure pain, Chopper Brothers is usually my go-to move.
Oh man, wait until you see the second scroll, Secret Skull Bros move that we get. That one's pretty hype.
I'm already recycling some enemies from Teehee Valley, back here. I guess it's sand, kind of the same thing. Although, I would like to see them try to do a sandstorm in, a beach. I know, geographically, that's impossible. But I'd like to see what would happen to a beach if a sandstorm were to blow through it. What would occur?
Well, interesting enemies, I suppose. But if you're coming to, me for ideas, you're going to be SOL, my friend.
That actually raises a question I have as I'm watching this. When you were a kid, were there any, particular games you kind of got excited by in terms of the battles? Maybe they sort of inspired the other games you would play, with your friends or things like that? Tell me about your role-playing experiences. I'm basically trying to turn this into D&D again. Let's just kind of get an idea of where young Tom was at in this regard.
You threw this out so subtly, I'm going to have to go back to, an old hand, as it were. It's Pokemon. It was always Pokemon.
I felt that way about Pokemon too, and I've said before that I didn't originally have the games, when they had first came out, and it took me a while to get into them, and I used to have that thing where I would just kind of collect, it was a lame collection admittedly, where I would just kind of collect Pokemon paraphernalia that I clipped out of magazines, oh, catalogs, I'll get that, get some articles out from the newspaper. I remember when they put out that article in Time magazine about Pokemon. You ever read that particular article, actually?
Well, considering Time magazine is a US publication, no, I did not.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's one of the more known issues of Time, where they kind of go into all the backstory of how Pokemon exactly came about. This was during the, the big apex of the Pokemon fad, where it was practically fucking everywhere at this juncture. So it was kind of interesting at that time for somebody who was still on the peripheral outside of everything. Somebody who had not actually gotten into the games. Nowadays, since I'm an adult, I think, it's easy to just kind of buy this shit. But even back then when I didn't have the games, it was kind of nice to have the ability to kind of take that journey and sort of learn about something that I didn't really have access to and just unpeel more and more of it. That was kind of exciting in its own regard, in a sort of pathetic way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I would mock you jokingly in a friendly kind of way, but I still remember the day when I picked up my new issue of Nintendo Official Magazine, or maybe it was called Official Nintendo Magazine at the time, and it had a silvery front, and it had Pichu on it, and it was talking about Gen 2 for the first time.
Oh man, I first learned about Gen 2, like, somebody had brought to school, like, a clipping of, like, they had torn several pages out of their game magazine. I think it was also Nintendo magazine, I don't quite remember. But, you know, they were talking about it, they were kind of going to all the detail of, like, all the Pokemon encounter, all the new features, the day-night mechanic, that was actually really super exciting, and, like, you know, it would track the time, things like that, like, oh, I could play it late at night, and I can get this other shit to happen. I remember when I evolved my Umbreon, I was playing, like, at 7 at night, and I was so happy that I managed to do that. Like, it was a really special kind of feeling for something very small, really, when you think about it. These days, like, day-night cycles, you can just take them for granted. But back then, it was so new, and you hadn't really seen anything like that before on a handheld console, no less. That it was really kind of interesting just to kind of discover that for the first time.
Yeah, because, you know, developers would have to create, like, 2 versions of, you know, every scene and, you know, every bit of music on the soundtrack. I believe Sun and Moon actually has, like, day and night music as well, which is pretty cool. But, of course, if you're buying Moon and playing it during the day, it's going to be night and vice versa.
Check out this motherfucker in the back! I do not remember this man. Cause, like, is this like a rare enemy or something? Or is it just I never went into the encounter with this guy?
I would guess that you kind of skipped over him when you came to the beach. This guy right here, let's get a name on him, the Boomerang Bro. He, wouldn't you know it, he chucks boomerangs at you. And I believe his tell is, you can tell by the glint in his eye which bro he's going to attack, and sometimes he'll throw a trick shot, which is actually, well, kind of tricky to dodge because it goes in a weird arc.
I guess it's supposed to be another. It's like the Alolan version of the Boomerang Brothers from like the Mushroom Kingdom. We're at the beach, might as well. It's like,
it's funny because you joke, but there are like these are literally just the Alolan versions of like Goombas and whatnot. You know, the desert variants, and it's amazing that we're doing this in the year of our Pokélord Arceus 2016, and we can make that reference and it's actually relevant.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, the Boomerang Brothers, they're, like, these skinny bird-looking motherfuckers. I mean, they've got the shell, but they look like birds to me, and it doesn't help that they have, like, the little leaves on the top of their heads that look like feathers. So it is kind of neat just to see the different, you know, like, versions of the enemies that we're otherwise familiar with. It definitely gives them, you know, in a new light.
I didn't have to use an overpowered move on that guy, but I felt he deserved it. You know, it was his birthday, and all he wanted was to die, so, you know, why not grant his last wish?
Yeah, why not do it on his birthday, the day where you first started living, so you can start dying? I mean, that's basically how it is, right?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah, man, you're wasting your time. You only live once, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Oh, we got another new enemy coming up here. Oh, this beach is just spawning as hell, Dragon.
Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of these guys I actually do not remember that well, because, again, it has been a while, and some of these encounters I just simply have lost from my memory.
Get ready for a nightmare. Ah!
Ah, hello. Okay, I remember that, actually. I remember that quite vividly.
Well, this guy, he's the trick master, so we're going to try and take him out first. We can worry about, like, the trickster fish with the fucking snorkel mask over there later.
You know, I have to say, I would call this encounter the Sharks, because you're facing in Sharks, and the Boomerang Brother in the front, he clearly looked like a gang leader, you know, with, like, the cool shades and things like that. You know, I'm in control of this here beach, you see?
Not much to say against question mark over here. But, you know, they come in like 2 varieties. You've got the one fish that goes high, and they'll just basically try and trick you. And then you've got, like, the bone shark that comes out. And as soon as you see his head, jump. That's the timing I find always works the best.
They do more damage here. I have to say probably my favorite version of the Fireball, you know, Brothers attack is one with the Fire Flowers, the more recent variants, where you have to switch the buttons between them both, and then at the end, they both get, like, the supercharge, and then they just throw huge fireballs at, like, the one guy. That's pretty satisfying to do.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite bros moves in Paper Jam, actually.
The animations do help, even in Paper Jam, just to kind of make things frantic and fun. But the main problem, of course, I have with the Brothers moves in that game and more recent Mario and Luigi RPGs is that the animations take way too fucking long. And I think it was really bad in Paper Jam, because you had to include the paper element. And there was like the third... having Paper Mario in there just kind of dragged it out a little bit longer than it needed to, you know what I'm saying?
And also the paper enemies who, you know, as you'd expect from paper, have like layers, and sometimes it would be a bit annoying to fight them. I'm a bit of a pleb when it came to fighting paper enemies, so I guess that was my fault, but whatever. Under the sea again? Man, you know, you talk about getting mileage out of the friggin' like underground tile set. Say no more for the fucking like underwater one.
You know, I never did beat Paper Jam, so I'll ask you a brief question. Was the final boss worth it?
Well, I went into it underleveled, I can tell you that much. It was interesting. It was actually a little bit of a challenge. Like, I found it harder than Dream Team's final boss, I can tell you that much.
What, really? I struggled really hard on Dream Team's final boss. I actually briefly considered at one point to use, what was it? The, you know, they had, like, the easy mode block. I was really thinking about it at that point, but I cleared that legit, like, straight up.
Well, you know, we bash on Paper Jam, but again, I always have to add that addendum. But it's fun, and the mechanics are some of the best in the series, if not the best. So don't be a Hell Dragon, be an Entom. Finish your Mario and Luigi RPGs. You owe it to Alpha Dream.
I finished the other 4. I'm sorry if the 5th one dropped the ball. That ain't my fault, honey.
Yeah, you can push Boo statues with this thing, and I know we've seen Boo statues in the overworld before, but I very much doubt we'll be seeing them before this playthrough's over, you know what I'm saying?
Are you actually gonna go back and kind of take out some of those areas that had Boo statues in it, to pick up, like, really big kind of bonuses?
You know me, I'm a stickler for, like, staying on schedule, so I imagine if I do, it will be off-screen.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's pretty much what I expect. That's fine.
Now, right here is actually a mistake save. Trademark copyright Entom 2016. Because I thought we were actually done with this area. It turns out we have to actually go to a third part of the beach to finish creating the stone pebble path here.
Oh, okay. Because, I mean, like, it is a rare insight into the development process of these playthroughs when you have a mistake save. And Tom decides to play it through and show it us all for the good of, you know, the playthrough, I guess.
Oh man, we're so full of shit. So full of shit.
I'm full of less shit than you. I'm just saying. And just bash him into a steel ball just like at home. It's great.
That's good brother's abuse. I just love the juxtaposition of, like, setting your brother's ass on fire to this jaunty tune right here.
Well, I mean, you might as well have fun. If I have to set somebody on fire, I'm gonna have a good time.
I'll go back to the depths of hell from where you came from, Bone Shog.
They're probably from Diablo when you think about it.
You see, you are much more, like, varied in your gaming tastes than I am. It's either Nintendo or Square Enix, and, you know, otherwise very few, like niche titles in between.
So, if they made, like, if Square Enix made Diablo, you would actually kind of know what I'm talking about then?
Well, if they put Sora in it like they're doing for World of Final Fantasy, maybe I'd buy it. Yeah, that was a bit of a stupid move on my part. Bit of a reflex trigger, if you will.
Well, sometimes they can trip you up. I mean, that's happened to me before. I mean, not as often, but still.
Not as clumsily, not as stupidly, that's for sure.
Yeah, not as platinum as me, who is pretty platinum in this game. I'm sorry. This is like my Bayonetta of role-playing games. I'm too good in it. You know, I get perfect ranks every time.
You're lucky you're bringing the ad revenue, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I could get away with it, I guess.
Chaos Dunk! There we go. Sorry, I got a little bit too hype at the end there. It was only one enemy.
Chaos Dunk, man, it's been a while since I remembered that game. I played a little bit of that. I like some of the mechanics of it, actually.
We're talking about, like, Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden here, right?
What other game has a Chaos Dunk, Tom? Because I want to know.
There's a game out, you may have seen me retweet this on Twitter, called, I think it's Tony Hawk's 900 Revolution.
I saw that! Oh, you tell them about it, because I don't think I could do it justice.
Well, it's not a game, it's like a series of books, and there's about 5 of these. 5, and this is the part where if you're reading this through text, it'd be like loads of exclamation marks there. But the gist of it goes, like, when Tony Hawk first pulled, like, his, like, first 900 rotation, his board or something split into 5 pieces, and the world descended into chaos. So now this group of, like, ethnically diverse children, teenagers, if you will, have to go around the world collecting the pieces of the board to restore balance to the Force or some shit.
I read that and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds so stupid yet so amazing. The one I encountered recently can't really top that, but as part of my job, we get a lot of books donated in. And the other night, I was just kind of looking through the book bin, seeing as a lot of the kids' books that got donated. One of them in particular was from a multi-part series called Shark Wars, where it was about sharks fighting what appeared to be military engagements underneath the water to, like, some bionicle shit. I don't know, but I just sat there and I'm like, well, I thought that would be the stupidest thing I've seen recently. Then you tweet about this 900 Revolution series, which takes the cake in my humble opinion.
Oh my god. Okay, now we're ready to take on the boss of Gwarhar Lagoon, and this is yet another one of those bosses that gave me a bit of chip as a kid, but you will be pleasantly, I hope, surprised to hear that I did this in but one take.
Well, I mean, once you know what you're doing, the boss coming up really isn't that bad. Again, it's another unfortunate kind of filler boss. And I say unfortunate because even though they are filler bosses, they do try to make them stand out in a lot of ways. And this guy is definitely memorable. Maybe not as memorable as some of the other characters in the game, but they definitely gave it their best shot.
Oh my god, it's a festive hermit crab, and he's wearing the beanstar piece as a star.
Well, I mean, it's a start, I guess. I wouldn't put half of a star on my Christmas tree, but I suppose anything glowing will do.
And for some reason, he has a lisp. Don't ask me why. I guess they thought that would be an interesting character trait.
I mean, look at his teeth. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
my teeth are fucked up beyond all repair. Like, historians will look back at, like, pictures of my skeleton and go, damn, what war occurred in his mouth? And I don't have, like, nearly as much of a stutter or anything.
It's not because you're British, right? Because isn't that the stereotype? Oh, the British all have bad teeth.
Well, no, I'm not repping my kinsmen in this regard in terms of dental hygiene, okay?
Hey, I'll shit on my kinsmen. We've made some very bad choices recently.
Yahoo, it is me, Mario. Okay, yeah, can we just get the beanstar piece, please?
Just after a while, like, I imagine Mario's just bored. Yahoo, it's me. It's Mario. I'm Luigi. Nobody cares.
That's a fucking Game Grumps joke. I'm sorry, I steal my jokes from better Let's Players? Question mark?
Yeah, you should be quite tentative when you say that.
Being swamped by the fun girls. I wish I knew what this was like.
I don't know. Do I really want to be, you know, fondled by three, people of this stature?
Generous in weight, if you will. Fucking Luigi.
Abundant in fat.
Luigi's just like, yeah, I get a chance to push my hair around. This is Luigi's time to shine.
Hey, he's not just a president, he's also a member.
Of the Hair Club for Men. I love that joke.
It's Prince Peasley, of course.
Oh, I kind of wish they went with that, because they start off with the kind of, like, backhanded compliment, but then Luigi gets his day, motherfucker.
Yeah, the first Luigi fan club is go!
Oh, yeah, I feel like I could just take off to the stratosphere right now.
Well, even with standing on top of Mario, it would have worked out that way. Or, no, wait, Mario's on top when they did the spin jump, my bad.
I actually kind of, like, feel for Hermie in this regard, because it was all about the hermit crab hype to begin with, and then these two, like, nobodies come in and steal his thunder.
Yeah, that is the ego problem that I tend to have, so I certainly can relate.
Oh yeah, let's get it on!
You're stupid!
Alright, Hermie the Third. I guess he's the third in the line of, like, Christmas-related hermit crabs. He has, like, a few attacks that you want to watch out for. He'll try and fake you out with his claw attacks. He also has a bubble attack, but I think he can, like, cast haste on himself or something. I don't know, he just seems to attack, like, faster as the battle goes on, and word to the wise, if you attack his head, he will always be triggered to attack you, so look out for that.
Pretty much the main thing you want to do here is you want to disable the claws. They'll vibrate or they'll twitch depending on which brother they're going to attack. After a while, you basically want to get him into his shell. Thunder Hand obviously does a lot of damage to him. And Thunder Brothers that he was using back there actually lowers the enemy's defense every time it's successfully pulled off. So against some trickier bosses, you'll definitely want to pull that out. But the thing is, when you get him to retreat into his shell, you want to hit him with the Firebrand, which I believe is his other weakness. and that will actually get him to pop out and prevent him from healing himself.
Oh, right, he can heal. I completely forgot that, because I'm not trying to, like, brag here or anything. Like I said, I did this, like, first take. I was surprised how easily I destroyed him. I guess I'd been leveling up my bros officially this time around.
Hermie is not a hard boss in any sense of the word, so you shouldn't have too much trouble. Just dodge the attacks as you normally do. He doesn't pull out any crazy tricks that would make you take pause.
Man, when we get, like, the Great Force equipable item later in the game, and obviously it's from creating new brews and, like, Starbeam Cafe and whatnot, pairing that with the Thunder Bros ability to, like, lower the enemy's defense is pretty fucking great.
I don't recall getting that, but then again, I never made all of the brews. I never really bothered to do that, so...
Oh, spoilers by the way. At the point of this recording, I have reached a certain person's castle, and I can confirm that we are in fact getting all these Starbeam creations.
Alright, excellent.
I wasn't, like, aiming for that from, like, the conception of the playthrough, but it worked out, so whatever.
There's your Christmas present. Hammers in the face. Have fun, kid.
Oh, I already have that. You got it me last year.
Well, I know, because you're so easy to shop for.
Oh, here we go. By God, he's doing it!
My God, he's doing it! He's spamming the same attack over and over! Oh my God!
Oh, he's pulling an end, Tom. Jesus, stop the match. It's over.
You could do an awesome body slam off of the top of Hermie's head. I'm sorry, his shell. You know, just climb up there and be like the Macho Man, do like the big elbow drop. That's always a good thing.
I hope in the next, like, Mario and Luigi game, I don't care if you still have, like, the item-based moves and whatnot, you know, bros moves, but maybe let the bros get a bit more physical. Like, let Mario have a pile driver, is what I'm saying.
I don't really see Mario as being much of a pile driver kind of guy. I want a game where they have to team up with Wario and Luigi, you know, and, like, Wario would be the one that gets, like, the big strong arm moves and things like that, the pile drivers, things like that. I'm not sure what Waluigi would do in terms of moveset, but the idea would be is that they would have all of these people kind of, like, you would have Mario team up with Wario to do an attack, or Waluigi has to team up with Luigi to do an kind of attack. I just think that would be a really cool take on, like, the next iteration of the Mario and Luigi brother things.
Well, it sounds like a natural extension of Partners in Time, but without, like, you know, the caveat of having to use, like, perishable items to pull off moves. And as you were saying that, I was just thinking of a particular one, by the way. Lovely climactic finish to that battle, by the way. How does this tickle your fancy? You got Wario and Waluigi, right?
Uh-huh.
And Waluigi, he eats a metal, like, mushroom, and he becomes Metal Waluigi, and Wario uses him as a bat to beat the enemy's fucking head in.
Wasn't that from Super Mario Bros. Z?
Probably.
Yeah. Look, make no mistake, I like this idea, and I think it would work, but you pretty much stole that from somewhere else. Let's just get that out of the way.
Well, I wasn't actually thinking of Super Mario Bros. Z at the time. I was just thinking, oh, it's an N-Tom original. This'll send the kids wild. Alright, Hermie, you lost fair and square. Give it up. Well, yes, we didn't just come in and decide to attack like the local inhabitants, you know. That's not how the Mario Brothers roll.
Nah, not usually, you know. Like, this particular instance, we were feeling peaceful. Does nobody else know about the Beanstar? Well, I guess not, if they kept it up for lock and key for so long.
Well, I guess it's like a known legend, as it were. Like, people are aware it exists, but, like, it's fallen out of favour of, like, the public opinions and whatnot, or at least, like, gossiping people.
Yeah!
We got 1 out of 4. Fuck yeah, it's gonna take a while.
Alright, that's fractions for you.
Why did the Beanstar, that has 5 points, become, like, 4 quarters, by the way?
I guess dividing it into 5 would be a little bit too predictable. I don't know.
Well, I guess they could have given you 1 to start with, and you use that as like a tracking device or something, like a Dragon Ball radar.
That'd be kind of neat. It'd be, makes sense as a way to kind of find the other pieces. They all kind of attract to each other. Ah,
wonderful. I don't have to huff it back through the beach, which is basically empty because I've destroyed all the innocent creatures along the way.
Yeah, nobody has a vacation when the Mario Brothers are in town.
Watch out, Mario and Luigi are coming through. Good stuff.
Be sure to activate the secret ghost store to get off of the beach, otherwise you'll never get back to work.
Oh, what do you like, Superstar Saga? What are you like? Okay, guys, we shall see you next time when we head back to Bean Bean Castletown. Bye for now.